Hello, everyone. If I'm doing this correctly, I am live. So give me a moment to be checking things. I started a few moments early just to make sure I could make sure I have everything together here. So give me a moment. There we go. All right. So welcome, everyone. And so, yeah, I'm going to start off here with this YouTube live broadcast. Okay, my name is Mark Sabatella, director of the Mastery MuseScore School. This is not my usual MuseScore Cafe that I would be doing at this time. This is our special project of recording my arrangement of We Gather Together to kind of create this whole community-based recording. So I want to welcome those of you who are here, and yeah, so if you're just tuning in, not knowing what's going on, it's going to be a little different, but we'd love to have you participate. So yes, we've got the project going on in BandLab. So if you don't already have an account there, if you're kind of new to this and are just tuning in going, what's going on? That sounds fun. Go to bandlab.com and create an account. And actually, let me just give you the link to where I have like all the relevant information. So anyone who is not sure what's going on, I will post this link. And then in a minute, we're going to go to BandLab together. And in principle, we can all participate together. Now, we can't like all play together, sing together, whatever, and in real time hear each other. It's not going to work that way. But the live session does allow us to all be editing the same revision. In other words, it won't create separate revisions for us, and we can go and edit each other's tracks, move them around, kind of work together to get a few things together. So that's what we're going to be doing here, and I'm going to keep broadcasting on YouTube, and we'll be able to be chatting here on YouTube. We'll also be able to be chatting within BandLab. To be honest, I'm not sure how good I will be about keeping up with everything, so we'll find out. So hello, everyone, and thanks. I recognize all names of people who have been contributing on this, and this is great. So what I'm going to do is I am now going to switch. Well, actually, what I need to do first that I realize I didn't do before is grab the sheet music. Actually, I have it in because I want to post that link also. So I'm going to post the link to the sheet music, and I would ask someone else to post links for me, but I know that doesn't work for some reason. YouTube doesn't like it if people other than the person running the session try to post links. So here's the sheet music. Okay, so that's going to get us the music. And now I'm going to go back to my BandLab window here. So I just created a new revision like a few minutes ago, and this is what we're going to be going into together. So when you go to get to the link, let me get to the, let's see if I share private link. I think this is going to work. Yeah. So this is gonna be fun. So I'll tell you how I think. No, actually, this isn't how it works. I take it back. Don't go there. Don't go to that version. This is what I'm going to do, but then I'm going to create a session. So just watch me here and you'll see the process, but then I'll give you the actual link I want you to click on. So I'm going to open this thing in the editor and it will open. And then I'm going to click this button in the top right that says, it's going to say start live session or start session. And when I do this, I'm going to get a link that I can share with you. All right, so now I should have the ability to get a link. So this link to live session on BandLab. This is the link that should work. And let me pin this thing to the top of the YouTube chat so anyone who joins late will see this. So if you click that link and you're logged into BandLab, excuse me, my voice is rather hoarse at this point. So I see at least one person has made it in. When you click here, you will be in the same session as me. And Colleen, I know you, well, I don't know that you've used the live session feature, but I know Tamir Hendelman has used it. And you had kind of set me up with him to talk about how to do it. And I did a practice session with him. And I've also done it, I've used it with one of my private students. So I know the live session feature basically works. I know a little bit about how it works, but I'm not super duper familiar with it, to be honest. Yeah, let me tell you what I think I know about it. If those of you who are joining right now, you can probably see as I'm moving my cursor around, you're probably seeing my name follow my cursor, and I'm seeing you people. I see Bruno right now, and a minute ago I saw Heis. If I'm making my best cut at your name there, but I see a couple other people who are online but aren't in yet, but there's like 6 of us here apparently. Actually, I'm not really sure if this is showing me who's actually in and who's not, but yeah, there's at least 7 of us here now. And I see Barry, so excellent. And Cindy, oh, this is so cool. So the thing is, we can all, yeah, and when you move your cursor, I can see your name. So there we go. What's going to happen is we each have our own song pointer. So this little doohickey here, I'm moving around, and I guess you probably see my name moving, but you probably don't see that I'm moving the pointer. I can be playing, I can be recording. You won't hear what I play, I don't think, except you'll hear it through YouTube. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, you might have to close your YouTube window when it's time to record. I don't really know how this is going to go, to be honest. Or maybe you can mute the YouTube window. But I'm just going to hit play, and you all can tell me in. So, there's a chat, lower right-hand corner. There's a chat in here also. So, yeah, so I just discovered the chat feature. So I'm going to hit play, and I don't think you guys will hear it. So I think you probably hear that through YouTube, but not through BandLab, is my guess. I can't prove that one way or the other, but that's what I think is true. Oh yeah, so Mark, yeah, well, if you're back, hopefully you're back, Mark. I haven't heard that about Safari before. A lot of people use BandLab, and I've never heard anyone say it doesn't work on Safari. So that's kind of odd to me that you are having that issue. But I do know that there is an iOS app, and I actually have the app on my phone, the iOS app. So my guess is if you're hearing it because YouTube is broadcasting it, not because you can hear what I'm playing in BandLab. So when it's time to record, I'm going to have people probably mute YouTube stuff. So when I say time to record, let me tell you what I want to do. I want to do 2 things, and then whatever all you want to do. I want to get the ending together, because I realize the ending did not come through the MIDI. The timing didn't come through the way I intended. So all along, the ending has been totally messed up. It didn't slow down, and then there was this weird gap that I didn't mean to be there. So I want to record the ending, and the ending is a cappella. And so if you're a singer or not a singer, I kind of don't care. I want people to sing. If you've got a melodic instrument where you can flick apart, then by all means, feel free to record it that way. But I want to get the ending together. So what we're going to need is, I'm probably going to need to delete some tracks to get this done from this version. And so we're going to do that in a minute. But first, I want to just scroll to the ending. So if you get to the ending, go to measure 46. Oh, that's the other thing is I've set the time signature at 3/4, and I put a space at the beginning, so the measures actually, the beginning of the measure is actually where BandLab thinks it is. So I'm going to play these last couple measures. What I did is I cut out the MIDI version that was wrong and recorded my own voice, which you all know what that sounds like. But so this is what you're going to hear is me singing those last 4 measures a cappella. So you're going to hear like a couple measures worth of MIDI, and then you're going to hear me. And this is what I want us to try to sing along with. May be ever praised, O Lord, make us free. So that's it. So what I want to do is I want to get some more tracks of this. So in order to make that happen, I think the easiest way for me to pull it off is I'm going to copy that track a little further down, and then that way we can use, I'm just going to use this track. Actually, I'm going to use the middle track because it's the melody. So, all right, so what we have here is this track that starts around measure 56, it looks like. And this is where I want people to record tracks. So I think it's the case that if I add the track, then it will work. So there's probably not going to be enough tracks. So I think I need to delete some of these tracks so we actually have enough to go with. And that's okay because I know we get them back. So we don't need the drum set track. We don't need the MIDI. Actually, we don't need any of the MIDI tracks to pull this off. But I'm going to be a little nervous about deleting too much during this session. And I know there's nothing I can mess up, but I do also know. So you can follow on YouTube and still catch it all. Absolutely. If you want to actually record, you're going to the pinned link at the top of the YouTube chat. You'll see a pinned link, and that's what will enable you to actually play along, sing along, whatever. So what I've got here is now there's room for additional tracks, and I just created one and I just called it someone because I don't know who's going to do what. But I would like people to try to add track. Oh, good. I just saw someone add track. So if you've added an instrument track, that's great. And I don't know, Mark, if that was you, because I can't tell who did what here. But so the instrument track will allow you to do a MIDI instrument. And then there's also the ability to add guitar tracks. But if you want to record using the microphone, it doesn't matter if you're playing an instrument or not. If you're going to record with a microphone, you need to add the voice mic track. Now, the instrument here will let you connect a MIDI device. So if that's your intent, is to play a MIDI keyboard, by all means, use an instrument track. If you have an audio interface hooked up to your computer so you can plug your guitar or bass in directly, you can use these. And that's what, Mark, I think you hipped me to, because I never messed with this at all. But for most people, you're going to want the voice mic, even if you're recording yourself playing a clarinet or whatever. So I would say also, if you're playing a transposing instrument, like Colleen, I know you had mentioned wanting to do clarinet. I'll bet in just the next couple of minutes you could take either of those top 2 lines and transpose them, right? I'm just looking at the last 4 measures. Name be ever praised, O Lord, make us free. If you want, you can get the thy in there also. Ooh, someone just recorded, and it is MIDI, right? So great. So I want to listen to that now. Whoa. So I'm guessing that whatever I'm hearing isn't what you recorded. Unless it is. But sometimes, like if you recorded it with MIDI and it was really meant to be drums or something, it'll translate into weird piano. But whatever, you can undo and try again. So someone take over the someone here. You can just click that name and put in your own name. But I would love it if, as you add tracks, please put your own names on them so I know who is doing what in this session. So, like for me, this track here is Mark soprano, and this is Mark soprano 2, etc. And at this point, because I'm trying to get, there's a whole bunch of us in here, I'm going to delete my own soprano 1 because it's pretty lousy anyhow. Y'all know I'm not a singer. And I'm also going to delete my own alto so there's room for more. So all we have now is my soprano, which is the melody. Name me ever pray. Really? Was my pitch that far off on name? Name me ever. Whatever it is. So that's why I want people helping me out here, because I'm not a singer. But if you all follow me, you know that. But I love singing anyhow. So Mark, thank you. I see your track coming in here. Gabriel, excellent. So yeah, just add yourself a track. It looks like we should still have room for more. In fact, yeah, there's no reason we should need these MIDI tracks here. So as I run out, I'll just delete these guys. But so far we haven't run out yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've only got 8 tracks so far, so that's good. There's room for 8 more tracks, because you can have up to 16 tracks, so people can still be adding tracks. So it's this add track button up to the upper left where you can click and add yourself a track. Okay, Kika. Excellent. So Kika, which one is you? Or maybe you're in a different thing? I'm not sure. Oh, you made it here. Yeah, you made a track. Okay, great. Okay, so great. And I'm not hearing anyone else's recording, which is perfect because I'm just hearing silence while I'm talking, but I see that people are adding stuff, and this is fantastic. So Colleen, what did you just record here? Looks like, Colleen, you recorded something starting way back here. Did you? I don't know if you just got into it or what, but I'm going to find out. That's the actual piano. Like the arrangement. So here's the thing: if you're playing like the regular arrangement on the piano, it's not really going to work because my arrangement is reharmonized. So playing the like basic hymn version isn't going to fit, but I could use it as an introduction. So if you want to put in a track of just playing the piano, then by all means do that. What I might suggest is you do that do that a separate thing, like leave the live, or actually you don't even have to leave the live session, whatever, just create a track and put it at the beginning or put it wherever else. Because yeah, I could imagine using just the basic piano hymn as an introduction or an interlude, or at least the last 4 measures of it. So I'm going to be kind of cutting and pasting things together. Okay, so I see stuff happening, and this is great. If people have questions, by all means, be asking on either chat. I'm looking at both chats. So here is the live session chat, and I just typed into the live session chat on BandLab, and of course we've got the YouTube chat going on also. And I see people adding stuff, and this is just so fantastic. Ooh, someone just uploaded an MP3 file, and that works too. So if you've recorded something separately, okay. I'm not actually sure what I was just hearing there. Adrienne? Okay, I'm not sure what I'm hearing because I just don't know. But it's fun anyhow. So trombone, Kika, you're the trombone, not on your own track. So Kika, I don't see, did you click the live session link? So Kika, if you look at the top of the YouTube chat, you will see a link pinned. That is what brings you into the live into this live session that the rest of us are in. So my guess is, Kika, that you were somewhere else that you might have just created your own revision, and that's fine. We'll use it. But if you want to participate in this live thing going on here, you'll want to you'll save the revision you're in, leave it, and then come back to clicking the link at the top of the live chat on YouTube. So oh, okay. So Colleen, yeah, I see I think things are how would I say it? Things are a little out of sync. So after you record something, hit the save button. I think that seems to be the key. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so there's confusion in these live sessions over who is doing what. That it clears itself up apparently over time, and I don't really know how this works exactly. I've only done it with 2 people or 3 people. I've never had a dozen people in this thing, and so it's just kind of fun seeing things. But it should be the case. So what I'm most interested in is starting at measure 46 here. Actually, not measure 46. My version here. Name me ever praise. Actually, you could do either version, and that's how we can get more tracks than we actually have. If you want to record a your own voice singing one of those 3 parts, the 3 parts being what's in the MIDI arrangement, right? Or in the arrangement on MuseScore. So it's these last 4 measures here. So name be ever praised, oh Lord, let make us free. That's the soprano 1. Soprano 2 is name be ever praised, oh Lord, make us free. And the alto is name be ever praised, oh Lord, make us free. So the idea is I want to get multiple copies of this. This is going to be like this a cappella breakdown, right? Because everyone else, all the instruments are dropping out at this point. And so I want to have not just me singing those parts. And yes, if you want to play clarinet or mandolin or whatever, playing the melody by all means, but there's no chord accompaniment here. It's going to be just melody instruments and people singing. And so I want people to pick one of these 3 parts and record it. And if you want to do all 3 or you want to do 2 parts, that's great too. And so you'll just sort of come in here, create your track, microphone access. Really? What? Give BandLab access by clicking the icon. Did I turn it off somehow? Oh, that's weird. I don't even know what icon it's talking about. Anyone know what that's talking about? I sure as heck don't. But whatever, I've already recorded my stuff here. So, oh, good. I see I see something else here. I see something else here. I see a whole bunch of little things here. I see this is great. I want to hear. Name me ever praise. Great. I hear that must be Mark. And name me ever praise. A guitar. Nice. Okay. So yeah, this is just so fun. I'm just clicking around and listening to what I have. Perfect. Beautiful. So let's see. Didn't record anything. Don't know what you heard. Okay. So hopefully people are finding things to do, but this is the idea is starting at measure 46 is where this stuff is. What's the S? Oh, S is solo. S is solo. So if you click the solo, that means we'll only hear that. Hitting S is like hitting mute on everything else is what S is. So solo mutes everything else. And that can be useful if you know you only want to hear 1 or 2 other tracks. In fact, that might be useful right now while this mass recording is going on. The easiest thing to do is just solo my track here, because that's the one that's the reason I have my track there is to synchronize us, right? So that we're all kind of at the same pace. In fact, I'm just going to add another track and see I'm going to add a bass track because I feel like I didn't write. I wrote this for like female voices, and then I'm like, well, yeah, but we can just double it an octave lower. But I feel like I want to actually create a bass part here. So by gosh, I'm going to. And let me think about that. Name be ever praised. That's how it's going to go. So I'm going to sing that. So I'm just going to do that. You all will hear me, and feel free to mute me on YouTube if you don't want to hear me. But I'm going to take like 1 minute and record my own bass part. Where's my bass part? Right here. Name. Oh, you know that message I got before about my mic not being hooked up anymore? I think that's actually the case, and that my mic is for some reason not hooked up anymore. Default internal mic. I don't want to be on the internal mic. I want to be on my Yeti. Hello, hello. Okay, that looks like it's something. Okay, let me try this again. So I am going to solo my soprano part. So that's the only thing. Oh no, I need to solo the MIDI soprano so I hear when my entrance is. Name. Okay, here's me recording a bass part. Name. I forgot where I was. That's what I get. I'm not ready. Name. All right. Name. Stage fright. Name. I'm just gonna sing my note while I listen to my count in. I'm not actually this bad. I'm just flustered. Name. Now, name me ever praise. I can't even remember my note. That is so weird. All right. Name. Hello. Name me. Name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free. No, that didn't work. I gotta think. Name be ever praised. And then I have an E minor. O Lord, make us free. That's how I want to do it. I can get a low D because it's still morning for me. Can other record solo while I'm doing that? Yeah, I think you can. You just want to maybe mute the YouTube, because that's how you're hearing me. You're only hearing me because of YouTube. So if you mute your YouTube window while you're trying to record, I think you'll be less distracted by what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just interested in trying to make this bass thing happen, and so I'm just going to keep trying until I get it. Name be ever praised. Okay, here it goes me again. Name be. Oh, I can't hear. Name be. I want to hear. Oh, I don't know if when I solo myself, if that messes up. I thought we each got our own soloing, but maybe we don't, because I need to hear my previous soprano track, because that's what I'm synchronizing with, right? I want to be in sync with it. So I've got myself soloed. So I think we each have our own mutes and our own solos, but I could be wrong. But in any case, don't mess with that while I'm doing this. Yeah, it's fun. That's a good word for it. It is fun, right? It's just a crazy party of music making. Name. So I want MIDI soprano and Mark soprano. Here we go. Name. Can I not remember that for more than a second? I cannot remember my pitch for more than a second for some reason today. Name. I'm just I'm hopeless. name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free. All right, that's closer, but still not good enough for me. Because if I'm going to use it, I want to be a little better in pitch than that. Even though I have terrible pitch, I'm capable of better at that. Name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free. So I didn't hear anything while I was recording that. So clearly I wasn't actually recording, which is a shame because that was my best take. But, whatever. Yeah, apparently other people are capable of turning off my the solos and the muting. So that's a little frustrating. So I'm sorry. I guess we are clobbering each other's mutes and so forth. So that's just the way it is. Name be ever praised. That's already wrong, and I recorded it the wrong place. Name be ever praised. O Lord, make us free. I think I got it, even though I couldn't hear the my soprano part anymore. Name be ever praised. So I think I got myself a bass part, so I'm happy with that. And even if I couldn't hear what I was syncing with because it got unsoloed, and that's fine. I think I did well enough. So I see people doing things, and I see a couple other questions coming in. Don't solo, because if one person solos for everyone. Yep, that has definitely been the case, and so unfortunately that's the case. So we might have to take turns a little bit at this. Also, something's wrong with the tempo. Yeah. Okay. So this part is out of tempo. That's what I mentioned. This is why we're doing this, because this part is meant to be out of tempo. So unfortunately, the click track is useless here. So turn off your metronome. If you have your metronome on, turn it off. You'll hear a click going into it, but that's not it. That's why I'm soloing my voice here, because this is what is synchronizing. This is what we need to synchronize to. It's much slower, and I want it that way. This is like this rubato a cappella ending to the piece. So the whole idea is I do want that part soloed. So that you can sing along to my tempo. So even though if anyone, if you're recording something unrelated to this and it's messing you up to solo this, let's maybe put that on hold for a minute. And I just want to get some extra tracks here. So I've got my bass part here. I'm just mostly focused on this version here. So I see Mark made one there because I made 2 copies of it here. So you can either be at measure 46 or measure 56 recording your part. And I'm just looking for, especially, not to put anyone on the spot, but I could really use a female first soprano voice. First and second soprano voices on that part, because the second soprano is the melody. Nay, ever praised, O Lord, make us free. That's basically the melody. And then the first soprano is that kind of high harmony. See, I can only sing it in the octave that I sang it in. I can't sing it in the octave it's supposed to be. Name be praised, oh Lord, make us free. So I really am wanting to get some female voices in that octave for the soprano 1 part and the soprano 2 part. That's what I'm most hoping to get here. And so again, if this live session ends up just being more fun than productive, that's okay. It really is. It's totally fine by me if we don't get that much out of it. But then you can, after we're done with this, we can then go back. We can leave the live session, and you can just create a normal revision and at kind of your own pace. Worry about getting these last 4 bars. But that is my goals. I want I would love it if everyone who has participated in this in any way can record some version of these last 4 bars, so that no matter what else happens everywhere else, I might be cutting and pasting and using different parts of different people's contributions. At the very end, it'll be like this big choir of people singing those last 4 bars, singing and or playing on a melody instrument if you really can't bring yourself to sing. So just working out BandLab, but yeah, so it's BandLab is an interesting thing, and I've been using it some, but I still haven't totally explored its possibilities. If you have questions, I can try to answer. Okay, Adrienne, great. Try soprano too. That would be fantastic. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So going back and forth to YouTube is one. I'm looking at YouTube chat on my phone and then talking to it, but within BandLab, BandLab has I lost my BandLab window. It has its own chat here, and so I'm trying to follow both chats as well as monitoring what's happening in BandLab, and it's just so crazy. So Thanksgiving is the holiday, and I don't know how many of you folks are in the United States. I know a lot of people are not. I know there's at least one person from the Netherlands here, I believe, and probably other places. Someone in the UK. Mark, you're in the UK. Am I remembering that correctly? But so Thanksgiving, of course, is a very American holiday, and I don't know how much you all know about it, but it commemorates when some of the first settlers who eventually formed the United States came over, and they had landed at Plymouth Rock, and this whole story about them landing, but they met with the natives basically and had a big feast to celebrate the fact that they had made it as far as they did. And so this was their thanks for, like, oh my gosh, we survived this trip across the ocean that we weren't even sure we were going to make, and we're here, we've got food, basically we're alive, we have a lot to be thankful for. And somehow that seems especially appropriate right now also, and We Gather Together, the song, seems especially appropriate right now at a time when this is about the only way we can gather together. I'm going to have a gathering with my family tonight by Zoom. So anyhow, that's why we're doing this project, is as a way of giving thanks. And so the things that we can be thankful for are things like the fact that technology like this exists. We can get frustrated with details of how it works, but the mere fact that it's possible at all is amazing. So I didn't hit save after hitting my bass track, and I don't know if that means you can't see it or not, but I'm going to hit save on it because I think I remember hearing that if I don't hit save, that other people can't necessarily see things. So if you've been recording, if you've recorded something, go ahead and hit save. Some people, I can see stuff. I can definitely see that people have recorded today. And I don't know if you guys hit save. That's the one thing that's not totally clear. So whoever said you're confused on how to record, the best thing that I can do is demo the process. Oh, we have someone. Oh, Mark created a new revision. Is apparently okay. And Dana did too. So I just got a couple new notifications. Colleen, you recreated a revision. Oh, maybe that's because you're all hitting save. Wow, I didn't know that that's how that was going to work. So I'm actually a little confused, to be honest. But it's okay. I'm going to sort it all out. Maybe don't hit save too often because I don't want to have like 100 revisions to sort through. But if you record something after you've recorded it and you're happy with it, hit save. That'll be what I'll say. And then I'll sort it all out. But I think that when you hit save, it actually does update this revision somehow. So the question. So to hear the track to sing to, yes. And so this is why if you go to measure 46, and I'm going to solo the soprano track again. So I know someone said don't do it because it messes everything else up. But right now, this is still the main thing I want. So it's this measure 46 soprano track that you want to sing along to. Name be ever praised, O Lord, make us free. That is what you want to sing along to. And here's my bass version. I will add that as well. And now we can hear that. Name me ever praised. Oh, someone just unsoloed my okay, so right now let's not unsolo these, please. Let's focus on, because right now we need these soloed for people to be able to get the timing right. So we're going to leave my soprano 2 and my bass part. Actually, we don't need my bass part soloed, but we do need right now the soprano 2 soloed, so when people record, they can hear what they're recording with, because right now we're focused on this. If you want to record something that's not this ending, by all means do so, but maybe leave this session, create your own do what you would normally do. Go open it up without using the join session button. And then you'll have your own revision. Cindy, yes, I just saw you just showed up, so that's beautiful. So that worked. Yeah, if you're working on something else right now, by all means, that's fine. But we need to be able to hear the soprano part, and that's the only thing we need to be able to hear right now. Now, if you want to solo something else also, you can. So if you are working on something right now where you really need to hear your own guitar part, well, then by all means you can solo that also. So then two things will be audible. But right now I'm really focused on the ending here, because that's the only part that I don't have, basically. We have stuff for everything else. So that's the main thing. So yeah, I'm seeing more stuff showing up. That's fantastic, Chris. Great, fantastic. And yeah, this is so fun. And by the way, I've pointed this out before, but sometimes when you record, depending on things, it might be out of sync. So I'm just move it like that, and now I can see that things line up better. Name me. Oh, I have to listen to Cindy also. Name me ever praise. Oh, yay, a soprano, a real soprano. Yes, thank you so much, Cindy. So happy to have that. So happy. So you guys probably don't know this, or you maybe if you've been listening to all the different revisions, you've heard some of my experiments, but I've started experimenting with combining tracks, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, we have who was it? Dana, I think you just added that guitar last night. Well, last night for me. I don't know where you are, but yeah. So I woke up this morning and found this wonderful guitar. I think you were probably reading my actual guitar part there, the tablature. So it sounds exactly like the MIDI, because I was afraid I was going to have to keep the MIDI guitar just to have that arpeggiation, but I'm really glad that we now have that. And Mark, you've got your strummed guitar, and that's fantastic too. There's a chance my brother Matthew will be providing banjo later. We'll see about that, and I might use that at the beginning. So Matthew, if you're around, yeah, that would be awesome. And if not, we've got little bits of everything we need. The main thing, other than this ending, is I would say a real soprano singing soprano 1 would still be useful. We have my wife, who's an alto, really sang the soprano 1 part, and I have that to go on. And I'd like it to be additional sopranos. So if someone wants to sing the entire soprano 1 part at some point, maybe not during this live session, but maybe leave it and go do that separately. And just do the entire soprano 1 part, that would be wonderful. The other thing we don't have is drums. I mean, we have the MIDI drums, and I'll use those. But if anyone has access to a drum set, or for that matter, it doesn't even have to be, Colleen, you got a drum set. I know you do. I know you've got a drum set. I know you have 8 of them, don't you? So you could totally lay down a drum track here. So you might think about it. A drum track would be really fun. Or if you just have some sort of hand percussion you want to add some additional percussion with, that'd be great. I've got several different bass tracks now to choose from, so that's great. If anyone wants to just add melody, just playing it on whatever instrument, trombone, Kika you mentioned, Colleen you mentioned, clarinet, you'd have to transpose, but we can get that happening through MuseScore. So I'm just talking, and so unfortunately, so Chris is asking about the mic level. Unfortunately, you can't change the input level. Now I'm looking at your part, Chris, and it's almost but not quite clipping. It looks like, oh my gosh, it says cello. Is that really a cello? It is. Oh, that is so fun. So fun. Excellent. All right. So you are almost but not quite clipping. So that is great. Within BandLab, the slider here, the volume slider, controls the playback volume, but not the record volume. The only control over the record volume, as far as I know, is on your computer. I have no idea what they were thinking when they did that. Maybe there's just no way to do it technically, to design it to do that with from a website. I don't know, but like I'm on a Chromebook right now. For me, if I go down to my settings down here and then click this little doohickey over here, I can control my input volume here. And so this controls my input volume. Input. Oh, I'm on the internal mic. Look at that. I thought I was on my Yeti. This is my Yeti microphone, which is what I actually normally use. And it has a volume knob at the beginning, which is kind of nice. Sharing my screen. Yes, I know I'm sharing my screen. So why are you telling me that? Oh, because I opened up settings. That's why. So apparently input Yeti now. I wonder if the cord just came a little loose and that's why it came out. Well, whatever. I got to check and make sure. Make sure I'm still hearing myself coming through the thing. Matt, you're on it. Yes, yes. So my brother Matthew's just unbelievably great singer and banjo player, and will be so fun to have you participating. It's gonna be so great. So yeah, if you're creating tracks here, if you're planning on recording, make sure you put your name. This doesn't really matter, but it'd be great if you put your name and what you're doing on that track. So in any case, there was the slider where I was able to adjust my input level, and then also on my microphone, I have a volume knob because I do this sort of thing often enough that I wanted to have really good, easy control over my input levels. So that's your only way, is whatever control your computer provides is how you can control your input level. But as long as it doesn't clip. And so you want to know what clipping looks like. No, you don't want to know what clipping looks like, but I'm going to show you what clipping looks like. It looks terrible and sounds terrible. So I'm going to go to measure 56 here and record another version. I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. I just recorded something. So I just undid whatever I just did. No, I didn't. Name me ever present. So I'm a little afraid. I don't want to erase my bass. All right. I don't want to undo anyone else's anything. I might have just undid your cello. No, that would be bad. Did I just undo your cello? That shouldn't be possible. I'm sorry if I just did that, Chris. I am really sorry if I just messed something up there. Well, in that case, I'm not going to mess. Well, what I meant to do was go to my track and just show you what clipping. Well, this is what clipping looks like right here. So this is clipping. Name. That's clipping. what you just heard. Name. Right? That is terrible. What happened right there? So you can see that the bars kind of went off the screen, and it sounds terrible. That's what happens if the mic level is too hot. If it's too low, I might struggle to get enough volume to be heard, but there's ways around it. Like, first of all, I can just turn the volume up during playback, but I can also add what's called a compressor effect to it, and that'll also bring up the volume. So as long as you can see lines at all, it's okay. Like, this is okay. I wouldn't like it to be much quieter than this, but Colleen's here. Yours is going to be fine. So, like, what I just did there is terrible, and I don't want to. I'm a little afraid that when I undo, so I got to delete that because that's just absolute crap. But in doing that, I accidentally recorded over something of Chris's. But I thought, but it looks like that part was done. So I'm really sorry if I just messed your thing up and then undid it, and I'm just sorry. So apparently, when we hit undo, it's like a global undo, and it undoes someone else's work also. So maybe we better not use undo unless, that's just something to know now. We might be accidentally undoing each other's work, which would be not good. Vibraphone, nice. That'd be fun. Yeah. So by all means, during this live session, I'm just trying to keep us focused on this ending and talking about ideas. And then if you are inspired to want to do a whole new part, I will encourage you that when we're done here, which we could be done at any time as far as I'm concerned, this is fun. I'm enjoying it. But if people have questions, I want to make sure I can answer questions. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the status of things and what's happening. Chris, I saw a cello show up and disappear. I don't know what that was about. What was I going to say? So if you're suddenly inspired to say, hey, I can do a whole vibraphone part, then probably it's best to leave this because it's a little too confusing to be trying to record a whole part with everything else going on here. So you might want to leave this session and just start just do the normal thing. If you hit leave, I think then you're in your own revision. You're probably better off even exiting and then just starting a new one to be safe. But then you can record a whole vibraphone part or a whole whatever. And by all means, do that. So right now, I'm again focused on this ending because that was the only part that wasn't really coming together. And I'm encouraging people to, if I can get female voices, to do that soprano 1 and soprano 2 part, especially soprano 1. But soprano 2 would be nice to get more parts on in the proper octave. I was able to sing the alto part in the proper octave because even though I'm a bass and not a singer, I could barely reach most of the alto part, just a few notes I had to drop. What I have, there's so much stuff that I have here. I've got I've got 2 or 3 different guitar tracks to work with, including now one that's got the whole thing done with the arpeggios, just like my MIDI track, which is great because now I can dump my MIDI track. I have vocals for everything, but we're a little light again on the top soprano, so I would love to get more of that. We have some instrumental tracks doubling the melody, and I can use that in places. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all this. So I'm going to create a new revision soon, and I'm going to start combining things. And I'm going to gather up everyone who's playing rhythm section stuff, and I'm going to gather that into one revision, and then do what's called a submix. So I'm going to get just the rhythm section together and get just the rhythm section sounding good together. And what I might do is for instance, I have at this point, I think 4 different bass parts, and I don't know that I'm going to use them all the way through together. I might layer them that way, but I might say, well, I'm going to use this one for the first verse, use this one for the next verse, use that, and use 2 of them together for the third verse, or that kind of thing. And the same with the guitar. So I might pick, cut and paste different sections from different people's things so that we get sort of some variety as it goes through. Okay. Oh, one other idea that I had that I wanted to run past you people. Yes, you can chat on BandLab, and so that's in lower right hand corner on BandLab is the chat button, so you can totally chat there. If anyone has a small child who can sing even a little bit, this is I don't know, maybe a little corny arrangement wise, but you know how it starts off with just a single voice and the guitar? How awesome would it be if it was like a 10-year-old girl? That's like what I'm picturing. I'm picturing just that sweet little "we gather together." I just want to hear that. Um, what I have in mind, some people might know. There's a Milton Nascimento tune that Eliane Elias did on one of her albums, and she got her daughter, who was like that age, to sing, and it's like it's crushingly beautiful. Anyhow, if anyone has any access to be able to get a small child to sing that very first 4 bars, we gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. Just get that much from a small child who can sing that much in tune, even close to in tune. That would be great. Now, on the iPhone app, I see there's an auto pitch option, and I was playing with it last night, and I don't know, I'm still not exactly sure how it works, but apparently there is in fact some form of option for auto tuning if you record using the iPhone app, for what it's worth. All right, so great. Yeah. So the new revisions coming in, and I'm really looking forward to hearing this. All right. So let me tell you so I mentioned this. I'm going to put together a rhythm section like sub mix. So everyone who's done anything rhythm section wise, I'm going to collect all your parts into one revision. And the way I collect your parts, by the way, if you haven't seen this before, is I can click anyone's thing. Like I can right click Cindy's soprano part and then say export region as wave, and then it'll save a wave file to my computer. So that's how, even though there's going to be way more than 16 tracks total, I can like get just everyone who has recorded soprano 1 and save that track as a wave file onto my computer. And then when I create a new revision, I can load those wave files in. So I can get just all the soprano 1s together into one revision, then just all the soprano 2s into another revision, and then just all the altos into another. And then I'll probably do all the rhythm section together, and unless I end up with too many tracks for that. But I kind of don't think I will. But then I'll mix, because I want to have a little flexibility with the rhythm section and how I reapportion things. And so I'll have a good rhythm section mix. I'll have a good soprano 1 mix, a good soprano 2 mix, and a good alto mix. And then all of those I will then export to wave, and then I can combine them all into one master mix. That is my task for this afternoon. So I'm wanting people to get what you're doing happening within the next few hours here. So that's why I put a little time, not a limit necessarily, but I would say if you definitely want to be your work to definitely be included, please try to have it done in the next, say, out. I think what I said was like an hour and a half from now. 3 o'clock Eastern. And if it can't be done by then, let me know, and I can hold room for you. If you're like, no, I'm definitely going to do this. I'm going to have this accordion part by, an hour after that, whatever. But I'm going to be spending what is my afternoon doing all of that assembly I just described. And then my plan is tomorrow at the same time this was. So Wednesday, 12:30 Eastern is when I usually do this MuseScore Café. As of a couple weeks ago, I started doing what I call the Music Master Class on Thursdays, same time, 12:30 Eastern. And Thursday is actual Thanksgiving. Well, instead, I'm going to try to do a debut of the recording. So I will post that in the BandLab project. I'll post it here. I'll post it everywhere I've put all these notices, and I will make a YouTube premiere. And so we can all watch because I'll make a video somehow by putting a pic. So, if you could all somehow put in pictures, like put in profile pictures. I'll try to make a collage. I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to do one of those whole things where you have the video collage and we all see each other singing and playing and all, but that making that happen wasn't. It just wasn't gonna. It wasn't in the cards for the short notice that I gave us. But yeah, if I could get any sort of images of people, you can for that matter email them to me, Mark with a C at MuseScore.com will come to me, or you can leave them on Facebook. You can post them in BandLab. I don't care what, but if I would love to be able to have some sort of collage image or whatever that I can create my video with. All right, so I'm monitoring still for other questions, and I think, going to leave the broadcast and live session so I can start working on that. As far as I'm concerned, I think we've gotten what we need out of the live session. I'm not sure when I leave it if it even continues going, but at this point, it's probably better off if we call where the live session is right now good. So if you haven't already, if you've done work in the live session and haven't saved it, please hit save and then leave, and then I can start downloading the individual tracks and combining them and do all that stuff. And I'm going to be just working on that the next few hours, and again, if you think you can have something in within the next hour and a half, that'd be fantastic. If you think it's going to take a little longer, just let me know and I'll hold some space for you. Yes, I see your picture on BandLab, Colleen, and so I should be able to use that. And I see I'm looking at the YouTube chat and I see people's pictures on YouTube. The BandLab pictures, I'm mostly seeing icons. I'm not seeing pictures in here, but they might be. Yeah, Colleen, I see one of you. Mark, I see one of you. Barry, I see a picture. Margie, I see a picture. But I see a lot of not pictures, right? I see a lot of just icons there. So, yeah, and I don't care how big, how small it is, whatever. I'll just do something artistic with them to throw them together so people can get a sense of that there's real people behind this whole thing. But I want to thank everyone so much. Just thank you so much for being a part of this project. It started off, as some of you know, as just a demonstration. It was a theory demonstration, right? I do harmony. I have my online harmony course, and this was just going to be a demonstration of some of the techniques that I teach to do a reharmonization of this song. And as I was working on it, I was like, wow, I'm liking how this is coming together. And then when I was done, I'm like, oh, maybe I should try to get a recording happening. How could I do it? And then I hit on this idea, and it's just so thrilling to have so many of you just participating in this and bringing this music to life so we can have this. We are gathering together in the way that we can these days. And so again, I am so grateful to all of you. I'm going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving now, because I'm about to sign off here, but then on tomorrow, same time, is when I will try to have that premiere happening, and you'll see the notice about it, and then we can all check out the finished product together. So if there are further questions, just keep, you can post them in the BandLab, right? In the BandLab band is where you can post things. But I think I should be able to see them in the chat too. And you can email. So yes, definitely keep recording new tracks, but try to get them in within the next hour or two so that I can include them in my final mix. So again, I'd like to thank everyone, and I'm going to now leave the live thing here. So hopefully no one is in the middle of recording something at the moment, but yeah. If you are watching live and you have recorded something, then hit save if you haven't already. If you're in the middle of recording something, I'm sorry, but I think I'm probably about to chop that off. But then feel free to just go back and do like you normally would have. Just go to the project and open in Mix Editor, and you'll get your own revision. And yeah, anytime in the next hour or two, I will be taking what you have. But yeah, try to have it done by next hour and a half. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and I look forward to sharing the final product with you. And thank you so much again for being part of this project. Ooh, Cindy is editing. I see Cindy editing. I'm not going to leave yet because you're still editing, but I am going to stop broadcasting. Okay. Yes. Thanks, everyone, again. And I'm signing off from YouTube. And I'll leave the live session open just a little longer because I see there's still some editing happening.